Hey everyone, today is Tuesday, January 24th, and I said last week that I would update you today after my ultrasound. So my original date for our frozen transfer was supposed to be yesterday on the 23rd, but when I went for my lining check ultrasound last week, my lining was only measuring 4 millimeters and it needed to be 7 at the minimum to continue on. So they upped my estrogen dose and said to wait another week and come back today, so a week later was today, for another scan to see if my lining has increased to 7 and whether or not we could continue on with our frozen transfer in this cycle. And unfortunately, today my lining was measuring 6.5, so it's not wonderful news, but it's also not the worst news. It's close enough that they're not going to cancel the cycle on us, but it's not close enough for us to have the transfer next week. So we are waiting for another week, continuing on the estrogen, and going back again next Tuesday for the check again. Now, we're hoping, because in this past week it went up about 2.5 millimeters. It only has another 0.5 millimeter to go over this next week, so it's looking pretty promising that there shouldn't be any reason why it doesn't continue to increase, although it's increasing super slow, way slower than they expected or than we hoped. We're not sure why. It seems as though my body's not reacting properly or well to the estrogen, because I've been on it for about 25 days now already, and my lining should be way thicker than it is. So it's almost like my body is not really reacting to the estrogen or a whole lot to that increase in estrogen, even though, my lining did get thicker over the past week. It still, wasn't a huge increase by any means. So right now, if all goes well, this week, we'll keep trying all the old wives' tales that I've been trying, and whether they helped at all or the increase of estrogen or none of it helped, I don't know. But we could have had worse news if it would have only been like 5 millimeters. They might have canceled it and said, we're still too far away, it's not going to happen. But because it's so close, they're going to let me try another week, and they're feeling quite confident that by next week and a week from now it should be at 7 for sure, probably higher, hopefully. And obviously anything over 8 is actually better. 7 is just their minimum for cutoff. So it could have been worse, but it also could have been better. If it would have just been at 7 today, we would have been able to go ahead and have the transfer next week. I know a week isn't that long, but now we're set back another week. So, the transfer was supposed to be yesterday. Now we're looking at the earliest the transfer would be February 6th on the Monday. So if all goes well on Tuesday and a week from now, and my lining is 7 or higher, fingers crossed that it gets there, it's so close, then we'll be scheduled for transfer the following week, because I have to start progesterone and 2 other drugs, an antibiotic and something called Medrol, which is kind of like prednisone. So I have to do all of those for 6 days before transfer. So that's why it takes kind of a week from when my lining check is good to transfer. If it's not good next Tuesday and it's not at 7 for whatever reason, or for some reason it starts dropping, or who knows, right? Then they would cancel this cycle. And if that happens, it would be devastating, because we would be stopping and starting over with the next cycle, and the whole process takes about 11 weeks probably. So close to 3 months it would take before we got to the next point of the next transfer with starting all over. So we're definitely hoping that doesn't happen, and I'm super disappointed that we're set back another week, but I'm also really grateful that it was at least close enough that they didn't cancel it, because I'm just trying to tell myself another 1 week setback is better than 3 months if, you know, if it wasn't so close and if they had canceled it. So that's my update. It's going to be a long week of waiting again, but in the long run, I guess it's been 4 years now almost, so a week in the scheme of things probably is not going to kill me. But I will be sure to update again next Tuesday after my scan, and hopefully this time after next week I will finally have some good news for you. If you're watching this, thanks so much for checking in, for your support. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all the messages and kind words and you know, good vibes sent our way. So thanks so much, and we'll chat in about a week with hopefully some much better news. Bye guys.